It's already recording. Things are changing on the screen. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Welcome back, TWC. It's your boy TWP Popcorn. You already know what time it is. It's another day in paradise, aka another Super Saturday. Oh, I forgot to post that video before I started this live, so I'm gonna have to do that, but I'll do that while we working. Probably not. Let me see. I need to pull up the Rumble. That's what I forgot to do. But hell, y'all here for the ride anyway, so y'all already know how we gonna do. Let's see. Spider Pig's no longer alive, but Popcorn is. Shouts out to switching it up. What up, Astrel? Good to see you. How you doing? All right, that's got decent video quality. It just took hella to load. And, yeah, yeah. We don't need to do that again. We need to do this. Go to Rumble. Y'all know to go check out the Rumble. Shouts out to the Rumble link. That's mainly where you can keep up with our big homie Triple B too. So check out our Rumble and then go check out some of the Open Sea Company's Rumble. And then he's also got his regular Triple B Farms Rumble. So y'all know to go check out that big homie. Get y'all some genetics. Don't ask me where they at. I'll tell you where they at. Definitely gotta upload this video though. You know. Alright, so let's see. We'll put the at SPIDRPI That was a triple, but are you keeping up with your boy? Are you looking at the work we be putting in? Shout out to just putting in the work because we gonna do it live. Shout out to the Homework 2025 because that's what we do it. You see what I'm saying? Hey, what do you say? Sip it on syrup because I love the lead. High as fuck as a puff of green. Yeah. Go lay your ass down, precious. You all bugaboo status today? I don't nobody care. She just got a haircut, so she feeling herself. She running around bugabooing me. But anyways, let's see. Click the upload button. Set our terms and conditions. Now we can go back over here to the cultivation. website. Y'all know to go check out the team, DWC, www.teamwc.info. Yeah, keep up with your boy in case YouTube ever boots me. If not, hit the buy me a coffee link and become a member. That way you'll keep up with me anyways, right? Right. Start back posting regularly over there this month because, we was trying to take it easy on them winter months because we had other stuff going on. But now we ready to grow. So shout out to today's video topic. What's we gonna have ready to grow? We got some videos to review. Well, we showing y'all the website because y'all can go over there and appreciate that. You did at least give me some website views because then it'll be worth the money that I invested in it, right? Shout out to having that done though, because you got to put in your own work, do your homework. Shout out to Homework 2025. Hell, that was the easy one. We knocked that out. Workbook was 2024. 2025 is homework. 2026 will probably be popular reviews. Go back through my popular videos and re-review them. Start reviewing myself so that way people saying I ain't stealing content because I'm reviewing the content I already stole with which should be my content. Yeah, I don't get why they say what they say. Hell, it's a review channel. Shout out to putting in them reviews. Let's see, we're going to the to-do list. This mug is fire today. Shout out to that. And we'll play from here. What up, Warren From? Good to see you.
Alright guys, so crazy breaking news coming in this morning. We're getting reports that a 15-year-old in Houston is in custody after he shot his mother and his sister multiple times after ingesting large amounts of marijuana. So we're going to get into that, see what's going on, and hear what you guys got to think. So let's just jump straight into it.
North Houston this morning, a mother and daughter are in the hospital fighting for their lives after police say the woman's teenage son shot them both multiple times. This happening on the 1000 block of Greens Road in the Greens Point area. Michelle Choi joins us live from HPD headquarters with the truly disturbing details. Michelle, police believe drugs played a part in this shooting.
Hey, Trayson, they do. They say the shooter is a 15-year-old boy. When officers arrived, they had discovered that he had consumed a large amount of edibles and had a really bad reaction leading, they say, to that violent event. Now, take a look at some scene video from overnight. The shooting happened at an apartment here along Greens Road around 11 last night. Investigators say initially the teen had called 911, saying he was going to kill somebody or kill himself. Now, the dispatcher, we're told, called back, spoke with the teen's mother, who said nothing was going on. They say officers still came out to check, and that's when they learned about those edibles. Police say after eating it, the 15-year-old grabbed a gun and shot his mom in the back and his 17-year-old sister multiple times. They were rushed to a hospital in critical condition. They say firefighters were the first to arrive at the scene and had a very close call with that 15-year-old suspect.
Houston Fire Department arrived before the police department on this incident, and when they did, they encountered the suspect in the parking lot. The suspect pointed the firearm at the fireman and stated he had just killed somebody, and then threw his weapon at the fireman and took off running.
Yeah, we're told police arrived shortly, chased him down, and took that teen into custody. Now, fortunately, we're told none of the firefighters were hurt. We're also told that a 16-year-old was also in the apartment at the time. She was also not hurt. However, of course, your heart goes out to the mother and We're told at last check they were undergoing surgery. Trayson?
Now, as you guys can hear, that's absolutely crazy, and my heart goes out to the mother and the daughter. That's just a wild situation, but I don't want to speculate about what the reason might have been for that incident to take place in the first place, but I do want to react to what other people have to say about the whole thing, because personally, I've never heard of anyone taking any form of herb, whether it's edibles or flower, and having that type of reaction. That's crazy. A lot of people have other types of reactions from other stuff, but not from the herb. So let's just pull up a few reactions and hear what other people have to say about it. Now, on the comment section of the very clip that we just looked at, you guys can see there's one person here, Freeman, saying kid trying to use weed as an excuse. Someone else says edibles did not make him do this. He's 15 and he's already got his alibi planned out before he did it. Someone else says he was on crack. Someone says schizophrenia. And a lot of people think that it's not just the herb. You know, someone else says that wasn't weed, he's just using it for an excuse. So it really makes you wonder, is it just an excuse that is being used? Is that going to cause a lot of fear-mongering in the community? Is that going to not only put a bad light and a bad shine on the community, but definitely stall things when it comes to legalization further from where we're already at? Like Safety Chuck says, must have been people are referencing the magic edibles. Now, having a look at a Facebook post by 9 News of this incident and reading through those comment section as well to see what the people think, someone else says, Chris Reed, this wasn't about the edibles. There was obviously something else going on behind the scenes that no one knew about. Marijuana's never killed anyone, never. Someone else asked, what was it laced with? And I think that this one sums it up really, really nicely. Definitely a hidden or not taken care of mental illness. He was having an episode. The edibles may have intensified the paranoia. Weed alone does not cause this. Hairkise Fowler says marijuana does not make you kill. He had mental problems. Shame on the media for trying to make it seem like he killed them because of weed. And a lot of people actually seem to echo those sentiments, as Alice also says marijuana does not make you a killer. The teen clearly needed help before this. And then you got the people with the clever comments like Anthony, it was the devil's lettuce, and Samuel with, now that's some killer bud right there, and Omar with, was that before or after he got the munchies? So guys, this is absolutely crazy. I've never heard anything like this, and I definitely think that there's more behind this story, and it's currently being spun in a way to put a bad light on our community. I definitely think that the police and social services need to look closer into this issue to find out exactly what happened, whether there's some type of security camera footage that they can have a look at, or whether there's some type of social media post that they can get some understanding about that kid's mental state. And then you gotta ask yourself the question, where was the parent in all this? If it were some type of mental illness, did the parent know about it? Was it something that the parent should have been aware of? All these questions. But what I don't like is the negative spin that the media is trying to put on it to make it look like someone consumed the herb and all of a sudden went crazy and started to shoot a bunch of people. That's absolutely crazy, because we know that that doesn't happen. In fact, a lot of people who are pissed off roll up just to calm down. So I think this is a crazy take, and as OG Colorado Springs meme says, oh please, for the love of the Lord, please don't blame the herb. But let me know what you guys think about all that. This is a crazy story. I want to find out what you guys think. Drop it in the comments down below. And if you want to find out about another story where there's actually someone saying that there was some herb laced with fentanyl, then check that video out, because it's coming up right now.
Fentanyl and weed, they ain't doing that. That's a waste of motherfucking time.
Can be quite relaxing. Everybody run for your life! The Pin Reaper is tending the garden. Creep, you're...
So every night I do a live smoke sesh on Twitch. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You should check it out if you're looking for a place to get lit. But one thing that I end up doing is I test a lot of new devices. There's plenty of new things that come out for flower and concentrate. And look, I want to find my new favorite thing. I want to try the new stuff. I want to try the hot new thing and see if there's new devices out there that make everything better. So I'm not always using my favorite devices. I'm not always using my favorite thing because I genuinely want to test out the new things. But look, today I want to show you My sesh essentials. These are the things that I need every day for the sesh. It switches from time to time, but right now I have a lot of cool stuff that I use every day, and we're gonna show you. This is what I use to get higher, and higher, and higher, and higher, and higher, and higher. Now, the first thing on the list is my desk because it's what I put everything else on. I recently got the E6 FlexiSpot dual motor standing desk, and I've always used the standing desk, but my last one was manual, so I had to like push a button to pull it down and bring it up. And the more stuff that I put on there, the harder it was to lift up. Once I got to 3 monitors, I could barely lift it up. I had to put my knee under it and push it up. But this thing holds like 355 pounds. I can sit on it with all my stuff, and it still works. It's really cool. And with the push of a button, I can just go right to my next setup. We can go up, or we can go down. We can go down, and I can show you all of the cool things on it once we get there. But I gotta grab my chair first. I'm actually super stoked on this desk because the frame and the motors have a 15-year warranty. Also, it just gets taller than my other desk. My other desk was like 3 inches too short. This one goes all the way up to like 50 inches. My other one only went to like 43, and I needed at 46 and a half, bro. I need it right there. So just to give you a little idea of the setup, we got a couple of PCs there. The one in the back is for streaming. That close one is for gaming. Gotta have the ISO spray bottle. This thing is essential for the sesh. I got 99% in there, but 91% will do just fine. Gotta have the glass of water. The cup holder here holds my headphones. I use the water more than the headphones. And look, we got a lot of cool stuff on the desk. I'm gonna see if I can show you each of these. Got the world map here so I can see where everybody's smoking from. It really helps me know that, you know what, that's where Brazil is. No, I wasn't sure. I knew, but I didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know. All right, look, we got the look who's following me here. Is your name on there? Do you follow me on Twitch? Those are all the people that followed me offline. We got a lot of cool stuff over here. This is my tray. I'm going to show you each of the things on there. This is my little flower station. I'm going to show you the stuff on there in a moment. And this is the top of my desk. I got my camera switcher. I got my lint roller for when the cat stops by. I get my PS5 controller for when I do some gaming here. But let's show you each of these items. So I took a few things off the desk just so the robots don't get mad at us, but I'm going to show you the individual things that I really like to use every day. And this first one right here, you probably know this is the dab ready, the terp hammer setup. This is a heater for this ball vape, and it's also for bangers. I don't have any of the bangers on here. I think they get you for those. But this little wood station, it comes in handy, bro. I got all those glob mops there on the right. I got every different kind of dab tool here. I got a terpometer if I need. I got a little spatula to get the bottom end of those containers. I got a hot knife. It's a nice tool to have. I almost never use it. I got a little pearl grabber here if I need to grab a pearl and do something. This is another tool. It's nice to have. I don't really use it that often, but every now and then I'm like, ooh, I need to pull that pearl out and it's still hot and I don't want to touch it. Sometimes I keep some extra atomizers on here. I got some extra joints if I need to fit a certain bowl or a certain banger in a certain piece and it's not working out for me. But this thing is really cool. You want to do a banger hit and your hammer's still high, you're not sure where to put it. We got a nice little holder right there. And this is basically everything that I use for flour. Now, you probably saw a couple of E-rigs here. I took the glass off. The Peak Pro is my favorite. I still usually keep like 1 or 2 ready. Just sometimes I like to pack multiples and then I'll hit one and then you know what? I died to an Elden Ring boss. Let me go hit another one really quick. But also, the proxy stays on the desk usually. I have a few different ones. I try to make sure they're charged. But this is great for if I need a smaller hit. If I just took a big hit recently, I want to take another one, but I need a smaller hit. I'm going to use the proxy for that. Now, I can't link everything, but like if you type exclamation proxy in my Twitch or Discord, there should be some more info, exclamation peak, exclamation hammer. There's a lot of the cool stuff on here I'll have commands for. But let's show you some of the other essentials. This is my tray here. We got the old, let me show you the tray because it's kind of nifty. Look, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my Twitch for free and give me that Jeff Bezos weed money. But I got a nice little wood tray here. It's lightweight. And a cool logo on it. I use a silicone ashtray. This actually glows in the dark. bro, does it glow in the dark? It glows in the daytime sometimes. This thing glows so bright. But I got my little shovel here. This is what I scoop my flower bowls with. A couple of different brushes for cleaning out bowls or cleaning up different spaces. I have a glass tool I use to stir my flour in between vape pits. Couple of brushes. I have brushes in a few spots. Just helps keep everything clean. This is a little bit of a newer one for me. This is the Aroma 3, and it's like a really, really nice grinder, but bro, it's also a fidget spinner. It does this. Bro, I could do this. It spins. Like, when all the flour's ground up and it's falling into the chamber, you'll know that because the top is spinning like crazy and you're like, hey, I'm having fun. So this is a little bit newer for me, but I'm having fun with my grinder. Most of the time, your grinder just sits there. It don't do anything. We got a little fun one here. And speaking of fidgets, bro, I got this little hit stick recently, and it's a click pen tool. I've seen these for a while, and I was like, man, I don't need that. I don't need that. And then one day I was like, you know what? Let me just try it out to see if it's something that I might like or if it comes in handy. And bro, it's like a clickable pen for your dams. You don't really need the cap. It's nice to have if you're sticking it in your pocket. But I just take my hit, and then my tool tip is safely tucked away, not to be touched by any cat hairs or random fuzz. This thing is pretty sick. I still have a few other tools, but this is a really good one for on the go and for just chilling here. And bro, I can sit here and spin my grinder and then click my dab tool. That's fun. Also, separate from this being like a super fun clicky thing, the tip on this is actually good. The reason I didn't think that I would need it at first is like, no way they put a good tip on there. Everybody that makes high-end fancy dab tools just make something that looks cool and then they use the worst tip ever. But they actually have a really solid tip on here. It's slightly curved, it's really thin. I really like it. There's a couple other things that I have. I got this from MJ Arsenal. You know, we got the Cupid's code over there. But it's a little pump for ISO. I can pump some into the dish in the top. I have a few different things for ISO. You probably saw that spray bottle earlier. Sometimes I just go right for this, but you gotta have ISO around if you want to keep things clean. So there's a few other things I might not be able to exactly show in the video. I keep a jar on my desk for all of my decarb flour, all of my AVB. I just fill it up in a jar. I have a trash can under the desk. I don't know if you saw, I just tossed my Q-tips there. I don't have any fancy little things. I have a few of those little garbage cans you can use. I've seen little dumpsters, but like, I just go, where's the trash can? This is trash, and then I throw it there. So as long as the trash can's close enough, I'm good to go. So I wanted to show my sesh essentials, but I do all my sessions on Twitch. You know, we got this low profile mic arm. I have another one that comes up and over that I used to use, but I'm trying to get used to this because I think it's potentially better. We got a couple of keyboards. I'm actually looking into getting another keyboard soon. I don't love mine, but I don't hate it. So if you know any good ones, leave me a recommendation. But because I'm right here at my computer setup, I have access to power cords, USB-C. I need to charge any of my devices. So honestly, if something happening behind me, all my other stuff, it would wipe out the green screen. But it would take out all my other stuff. Everything on my desk is all I would need to continue seshing. I'd probably still get more stuff, but those are my essentials for the sesh. And look, if I find any cool new stuff, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna make a video about it. Anyway, come get lit with me on Twitch and have a super chill rest of your day. Bye!
This is my first layer of color. I need to maybe go back and fill in a few little spaces, but I'm supposed to start with the light color first and the skin first if I can. Well, really the lightest color on the page first, and the skin appears to be the lightest color on the page. And yep, this is my first layer. I'm going to go on to my second layer. So here is my second layer, starting to do some shadowing. And then I have a third, even darker layer around the edges. So right now, I put in my darker color, and I am using my lighter colors to do some blending and try and make it a little bit smoother. I just got a few more minutes to work and then my break is over. Bye. From a distance, which is generally how you view a picture that you framed and put on your wall, the coloring doesn't look too bad. Closer up, it looks to me like I need to do more blending, but yeah, considering it's the first
Cheers, brother No Flower. Good to
coloring
see you.
I've
How you
done.
doing? Hopefully you're
At
doing
least
good,
it's a
smoking
good
good.
start.
This is the next comment. I want to hear your commentary on this. Fam, I get what you're
Uh-oh,
saying, but
cooking with
nah,
love
at
and more
minimum
still running around with bars.
$25
Y'all
on
know
an
to go
eighth
check out bro.
is 200
Make sure
is
y'all
it.
leave some
Again, how
comment
y'all
and get that
mathematicians?
engagement
You
up.
barely even know basic literature
Shouts out to
and
keeping
grammar
that
and things like
engagement
that.
up.
But okay, fam, I get what you're saying, but nah, at minimum $25 an eighth is 200 a zip, 3,200 above minimum numbers by one go. By 2 to 3. I don't even know what he's saying. But again, this is another comment best case scenario. Anybody knows that when you bust down a P, you're not going to exactly bust down every single eighth $25. You might have some wholesale clients that you give them a deal. You might have people that you might bop on the head. You may have some of your homeboys that you just smoke with. It's gonna be very. You're not getting exactly $25 every single eighth. Like that's not how it works. You might be sitting on it for a while, so you just gotta fire sell it and get rid of it. So y'all, this is how I just know people know nothing about business. You've never ran any type of legal business enterprise. You probably never even worked a job before. This is the problem. A lot of people, you go and work for these companies, Amazon, Google. You might go work at Facebook, the security. You might go work whatever, Microsoft. You might be low down the ladder, but you guys go in with the mindset of, oh, I'm just trying to get a paycheck. If I was at any of these companies, I'll be trying to talk to everyone, trying to learn as much information, as much game, trying to network with people and trying to understand how their business runs. Even if you work for like a mom and pop store, I would be trying to understand everything, the logistics, how about their business. If I'm in a situation where I'm just working a job, which there's no issue with working a job. This is how I know a lot of these people in the comments, you're not doing any extra due diligence, you're not doing any extra work to actually understand how to optimize and how to scale your business. So that's kind of my whole spiel on that.
And to touch on that from just a trapper street standpoint, in order to be a good leader or plug, you got to be a good follower. And the facade now is they can skip steps. But in real business, you cannot skip steps. The black market, now you can skip a step to get the plug, to get a source. And running a business, you can't skip steps, bro. If you skip steps in business, that's just going to prolong your business of taking off. Every business owner know that, like, you got to go through the steps. In the business, you might not make money, profit, for the first 2-3 years. The streets don't work like that. The streets is kind of like, if I spend 50, I need to be making a 50. And let me clear it up for the goofies, because they're going to be like, oh, you spend 50 and only make 50 back. No, goofy. Make profit 50, bro. I seen that in the comments too. I think from like our first video when I said you used to spend 10 and make 10. They're like, oh, you spending 10 and making 10, you ain't making nothing, bro. 10K profit off of making 10. Like, no, that's why I say, bro, the music has made it to where people have unrealistic expectations. Like even the smoking of 3-5, bro.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. Oh, sorry. Now, I got to say one more thing before I forget this. That's the thing. Again, people don't know nothing about business. Why do y'all always assume that anything that you do in business, you got to double up in it? Do you know if you go in a grocery store, do you know what their profit margin is? It's like 5%. Every business operation does not make double, or, if you put in 100, you make 200.
Like, y'all got to get rid of this gambling mindset to where everything is, the profit margin is always 100%. That's not how business always works. Yeah, there is businesses where that may happen, but most businesses, like, have y'all ever looked into Apple and see what their profit margin is? That's one of the largest businesses in the world. Their profit margin is around 20-30%. So are you going to tell Apple that, oh, y'all don't know what you're doing? If you make an iPhone for $1,000, you should sell it for $2,000. You going to tell Apple that? One of the largest businesses in the world?
They definitely going to tell Apple that and then go back to their cap-ass life. That's why I say a lot of shit in the streets, bro, is a facade. Once you're really in it. See, once you're really in it, everybody talking about, you know how hard it is to make $100K in the streets, bro? That shit is hard. It's hard to get a 50 ball and have it. Don't let that shit fool you, bro. Like, the music have it to where a lot of people are rapping about anomalies. Yeah, I made a
and that's just a society in general. Even when you go on Instagram, oh, bro, I made 50,000 in the stock market with 2 trades.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, you not know 95% of traders do not make any money? So how is all these people making money?
Come on, man.
How does that make any sense? 95% of stock traders make no money. They lose money. So how is it on Instagram, every single person that I see is making tens of thousands of dollars? I've even seen people say that, oh man, I put in $1 million trade. I made $5 million this morning. Woo. Yeah, that was an easy day at work. It's like, bro, y'all just believe and it's not just music. Music is a problem, but it's just, I think it's just the society as a whole, you know what I mean? So
yeah, the society is a capped society, bro. Like, the shit is capped, dog. And that's because, bro, people don't keep it all the way up in, and everybody thinks what the unnormal is normal.
Shout out to Neo Cannabis. Y'all want to go check out, bro.
It's not right now. No. Why not? Because I said I'm gonna stop whenever I want to, not whenever you want to. What the f is wrong with you? I'm trying to control you. So what you want to do? I'm trying to do whatever you're trying to do. I go to bed too. Wait, what you doing? Oh my bad, I gotta tap this off first. My sausage can't work unless I tap this off. Give me a second. I'll be back there in no time. Okay. I'm gonna give it to you too first. I'm waiting for it. Hey, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm a couple minutes late to my doctor's appointment. Yeah, there was unfortunately a terrible accident. Oh no, is everything okay? Oh, yes, ma'am. Everything's fine. I didn't get here. Zafin here. Excuse me? Nothing. All right, so these 2 spots in paperwork. You can see your doctor. All right, good. Emergency contact 832-555-3432. Relationship.
Plug. Put his plug as the emergency contact. You know where to find me.
If you're growing indoors or thinking about growing indoors, you probably also thought about grow lights. In today's episode, we're going to talk all about the myths and misconceptions around grow lights. The first myth about grow lights that I don't want you to believe is that you need a grow light. Now, for years, as a beginning gardener, I grew under a shop light. I went out to my local hardware store, I bought a $25 shop light that had compact fluorescent tubes in it, and it worked amazing. Now, was it as efficient as some of your more grow light setups? Absolutely not. But it was affordable, and it was effective for what I needed at the time as a beginning gardener. And so if you're in that phase of your kind of gardening lifestyle and you don't want to go out and buy a really expensive setup, you absolutely don't have to. You can get by with a shop light. The only thing I'd say with a shop light is make sure that you keep it lower to your plants, much lower, because they're not as powerful, they don't have as much output, and because there's only 2 bulbs, regardless if it's compact fluorescent or an LED setup, the closeness will need to be, well, the distance, I should say, should be a whole lot closer because it's just not as strong. But you absolutely can get by with a shop light or even one of those coiled, the spirally compact fluorescent lights. Those work great as well. Just keep it close to your plants and you'll be fine. You don't need anything too fancy. The second myth about grow lights that I don't want you to believe is that if you were transitioning from compact fluorescent to LED, that you have to buy, in some cases that might be T5, a T8, a T12 type
What up,
compact
Abigail? Good
fluorescent
to see you. How
tube
you
light
doing?
setup, like these setups behind me. You absolutely do not have to. Nowadays, technology has adapted to making an LED tube light. Now, these are a plastic, some are glass, but most are plastic, and that means they don't break. Try doing that with a compact fluorescent tube. Absolutely is going to break all day long. And not to mention, those compact fluorescent tubes do have heavy metals inside of them. The gases inside are not great to break. And so a lot of people are transitioning over to LEDs. If you still find yourself with a compact fluorescent setup though, it will work, absolutely. But if you're someone that's trying to switch, I can't tell you how many times I go onto forums and I see people harping on others about you have to upgrade your whole setup. It's not going to be as powerful. It won't be as good. Let me tell you for a fact, all of these lights here, these are 8 lamp setups. I have 4 of them, so there's 32 bulbs total here. I transitioned all of them over from compact fluorescent tubes. They were T8. The T8 is the size of bulb, or sorry, T5. That was the size of bulb that they were. I transitioned them all over to integrated LED tubes, just like this one. And well, this is a little larger than the T5 bulbs that we're using here, but they're all the same plastic body. They are just as powerful, if not more powerful, and just as energy efficient, if not more than the compact fluorescents that were in there. And that's because they use a lot less light. They don't have the heavy gas. They're on and off immediately. They don't have time to warm up or heat up. And like I said, I mean, they're not going to break. So I hope you guys will not fall for that myth. I see a lot of people spending a ton of money refreshing their whole system. Technology's gotten pretty amazing, and you just have to find the right lights that fit in your old setups. They do make them nowadays, and it just works with the existing ballast in the actual fixture. Regardless if it's a shop light or a grow light, you don't need to upgrade the whole thing. The third myth that I don't want you to believe about grow lights has to do with the grow light bulb itself. I see a lot of people talking about how you need to have a grow light that is around 6,500 Kelvin. Kelvin is just the color of the light that's given off. The higher you go on the Kelvin, the more blue the light gets. The lower you go, the warmer or the more red the light gets. And I hear oftentimes people say that you need to get a grow light that puts out around 6,500 Kelvin. So it's a very blue light, right? Well, that is somewhat true that will help plants. Plants will photosynthesize and grow better with more blue light. But you don't have to go find a light that gives off 6,500 Kelvin. Oftentimes those grow lights are grow light specific and they're very expensive. The tubes, the bulbs, are geared for growing plants. It's a very niche need, and so oftentimes they charge a premium for them. To get around that premium, find a grow light, find a light, I should say, a tube light, whether it's compact fluorescent or LED, that puts out around 5,000 to 5,500 Kelvin, and your plants will do great. Will they do better with 6,500 Kelvin? Maybe a tiny bit, but as a beginning gardener, I truly, and I will stand on this, I do not think your plants are going to make that big of a difference as a beginning gardener. Once you get into it and you start growing and you want to get a little more serious, sure, maybe consider upgrading your bulbs. But for the time being, I'm proving my point here. These lights, I didn't want to spend the money because these pictures were pretty old. I spent a little bit of money and I got some lights that were 5,500 Kelvin. The tubes were 5,500 Kelvin, not the 6,500 Kelvin that everyone says you need. And look at these plants. They're happy and they're thriving. They're doing great. They're doing awesome. They are green, they're growing. And how I know they're happy is they're not stretching for the light. They're not turning yellow. They're growing each and every day and they look amazing. So don't fall for that myth. You can go out and you can find some lights 5,000, 5,500 Kelvin. No problem at all at your local hardware store. Throw them into your fixtures, or maybe your fixture comes with them. Your plants are going to do great. The fourth myth about grow lights that I don't want you to believe is that you need a grow light at all. For years, I started seedlings in a strong south-facing window. As long as you get between 4 and 5 hours of sunlight, nice direct sunlight, your plants are going to do fine, and you don't need a grow light. You may have to rotate the trays ever so slightly, just because they might grow towards the light a little bit. But then you turn them 180 and they're going to grow back the other way, and they will do fine for the time being without any grow light needed at all. Now, obviously, will a grow light help? Absolutely. If you don't have quite as much light, a grow light can add supplemental light, which can certainly help. But in a lot of cases, if you have a really strong south-facing window, like this window we have here, these plants, like these are our citrus, we got house plants, we could easily throw some seedlings up in here and they would do amazing. They would not need a grow light whatsoever. So don't have to get a grow light, especially if you have a large enough window and it's pointing in the right direction. The only thing I would say for this point is try it with a few plants first and see how they react. Certain plants like tomatoes and peppers need a little bit more light than say something like broccoli or cabbage, kale, maybe some lettuce. Some of your more leafy greens, they can do a little bit better with less light, and they might not stretch as much. So try it with a few plants before you completely rule out that you do or do not need a grow light, because those plants will typically indicate to you if you have sufficient light.
Definitely know to go check her out.
That's kind of the only thing I would say. Just because,
it.
like I said, certain plants react differently than others, but in a lot of cases, you might have enough grow light coming right from Mother Nature. And the fifth and final myth that I do not want you to believe with grow lights is the myth of the more you spend, the better grow light you're going to get. Now, this might be somewhat true. I'm not going to say that it's not true. Obviously, there's a lot of technology that comes with grow lights. But as a beginning gardener, what I would say is getting started is far better than getting it perfect. And that's something that I really made a mistake of as a beginning gardener, is I spent a ton of money on what I thought to be the best grow lights, and it really didn't make me any better of a gardener because I didn't understand how to use grow lights effectively, and because I jumped into something that I wasn't fully well versed in, I had not fully experienced, I ended up spending a lot more money initially than I really needed. This is the level of success you're going to get with, say, a $25 grow light. You might be kind of shocked, but you might only get about this much more success with like a $200 grow light. $25, $200. Why is the move so small for such a large jump in the amount that you're paying? It's because as you get into actually using these pieces of technology and the lights do make somewhat of a difference, you'll find that those nuances may be worth it to you. That's the thing. They may be more efficient, they may be brighter, they may have a little more variability, they may be able to give you the results that you're looking for if that's what you're looking for. But again, $25 to $200, $200 doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me as to why, if you are a first-time gardener, you would jump into spending $200 on a grow light simply because you thought that's going to be the thing that you need to get the results you're looking for. If you don't even know how to use these properly, this becomes this, because you can have the best tools in the world, but if you don't know how to use them properly, they mean nothing. So don't spend a ton. It's not always going to be guaranteed you're going to get the best results. And then the final thing in this same line here is that I see so many gardeners falling for the trap that they need to buy brand new, super expensive grow lights. And I'll tell you what, there is not a shameless plug for Facebook Marketplace, but if there ever was one, this would be the time. Facebook Marketplace is littered with grow lights that are for sale that are just fine. Absolutely just fine. You can get them used. You don't need to get them brand new. As long as they work fine. And I direct everyone to Facebook Marketplace first, because generally, if you're in a town of 1,000 or more people, someone within a 5-mile radius is probably selling a grow light. I'd almost guarantee it. And those grow lights are great. They're usually fairly affordable, and you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can get them because people change out their equipment all the time, thinking that the more they spend, the better grow light they're going to get. And when in reality, they're just doing one of these things. They're spending more, they're getting slightly better results, and maybe that's what they want, but you can take advantage and get a great grow light on a budget. So I don't spend a ton of money. But that is all of the myths for today's episode on grow lights. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, this is Luke from the My Gardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting mygardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care. Bye.
text you, remember?
Dog, I haven't checked my phone in hours.
No, you texted me back like 10 minutes ago.
Really? You sure about that?
You want me to show you?
Oh, come on, bro. There's no need for us to fight.
I'm not fighting.
So what you need?
Just a quarter.
Gotcha. Be right back. Jesus, come on, dude. Here you go. You take care, man.
There's like coughs everywhere, dude. Doesn't that worry you?
Sometimes.
Oh shit! Freeze, police!
Get down on the ground! Get down! Come out of the apartment with your hands raised. Surrender yourself.
Shout out to that sus vendor short. Y'all know to go check out the short section. I already did
Found a
plenty of
strain
them,
that
right?
you love. You might be thinking about keeping a mother plant. But is it the right idea? Well, let's break down the pros, cons, and best practices for maintaining healthy mother plants. But first, check this out. Today's video is brought to you by RealDGC.com. If you want to connect with our private community of premium growers, get grow tips from some of the best growers around the world, and get access to exclusive Dude Grow Show content. Membership is free, and you can become a DGC producer if you want to help support the value that we bring you here. Head on over to RealDGC.com and get signed up today. All right, back to the show. All right, let's do this, Grambo. Keeping a mother plant. I mean, if you've come across keeper strain, something you want to have around your daily driver, mother plant is going to give you limited access to clones, right? You can always have it around. Take the clones when you need them and keep that genetic going. Number one reason people like to keep that strain going, not only being their daily driver, but maybe they found out it's a strain that really works for their environment, their feeding schedule, gives them a great uniform canopy, etc. So keep it around is not that hard. It don't need too much space, but space can be valuable. I mean, a 2x2 tent, like this little 2x2 tent here, this is a kit here from AC Infinity. I think right around $400 for this tent, even better. Coupon code Dude Grows. There's everything you need. 2x2 space, and the bonus, when you're not keeping a mother plant, or let's say you don't, that can be used as a drying tent. Maybe it's also used as your nursery. I don't know. I have 3 to 4 tents myself, and I always find purposes for them. So that's the reason why most people like to keep it around. But you don't keep a mother plant, correct, Rambo?
I don't keep a mother plant. One of the reasons that people will keep mother plants is I think this is one of those legacy production days. You know, if you work in a commercial facility, you're for sure going to have lots of mother plants. And back in the day when we had our 99 plant counts back in the day of Colorado, and we were pushing it. And so you needed those mother plants, and because you're gathering, you need a whole plant. You're stripping lots of branches to make that. Nowadays, we don't need that sort of stuff. One of the main reasons that I always personally thought that we needed mother plants was this thing called like genetic drift. And as Jaron from New Mill always says, he's like, it's not genetic drift, it's actually accumulation. So if you're stressing out your plants a whole bunch, then you probably don't want to take cut after cut after cut. It's kind of like photocopying, right? And so each one kind of just degrades a little bit as you go. But that's not the case. If you're a good home grower, you can just clone from clone from clone. And those mother plants take up real estate. They need lights, they need ventilation, they need all the same stuff that all your other plants need. They need nutrients. You can cut clone from clone from clone, keep that real estate, save those nutrients, and I think you'll be happy with the results.
I'll give one more pro you made me think of, though. Keeping that mother plant going, if you're not bringing in anything else, that's an advantage. You know you got it. It's clean. It's always in your environment. You're not taking in clones from somebody else, so that is one bonus. But let's give some tips on it. Tips on how to keep a healthy mother plant. So tip 1, you're going to treat a mother plant basically like your vegetative grow. You're going to keep it your 18-6 solate cycle. You're going to feed it roughly the same, but I would lower the nitrogen somewhat a couple weeks before you're going to take your cuts. If you have high nitrogen and aggressive vegetative plants that you're prepping for bloom, the mother plant does not need that much nitrogen. There's even a company that makes a mother plant nutrient. I'm not saying you need to go that far, but too much nitrogen is going to give you soft stems and just nitrogen-rich tissue. That's not going to give you the healthiest clones that'll root fastest.
That's a really good point. And conversely to that, while you're lowering the nitrogen, some growers like to up the phosphorus. If you kind of phosphor load, as you take a cutting, it's going to take all that residual phosphorus in that branch, and it's going to start to pull that down, and that's what it actually starts to make roots with. And definitely another one is the topping the plants. You know, if you don't top your plants, it just grows straight up into this atypical bud that goes up there, a classic Christmas tree structure. But if you top it, you start getting lots of different sites. You can take clones from anywhere, but if you're taking things that are going to become tops, they're just off to a head start right off the bat.
A guy like this is the number one tip, actually. Shout out to Maestro and the DGC. Good rule of thumb is to use 1 gallon of soil per month. You plan on keeping that plant alive. So if you got a 6-month-old mother, or let's use a 5-gallon pot, for example, very common sized pot. Plan to keep that mother plant in there for 5 months. You could go longer. And I know some people are saying, hey, I keep a mother plant alive for years. But I'm talking about for the ultimate vigor, for getting the most healthy clones off of. Give a mother plant 1 gallon of soil per month of its life. And then after about half a year, see if you can cycle that plant into your grow for bloom, take some cuts off of it to create another mother plant to keep that vigor going. You know, once it gets so old, it gets root, you don't want to get too root bound for too long, and then you have to start getting into a different type of maybe enzyme flushes or techniques that you have to do to keep that plant happy.
It's a great point. And also time. Where in your schedule are you taking cuts? You know, young early veg plants, they're not usually as strong. So a lot of growers will wait not right before you flip, but, you know, maybe the week before flip, right when everything's super, super healthy, super vigorous. That, you know, the reason you're going to flip is like, oh, they're looking great. They're stout. They're healthy. Time to go to flower. It's also a great time to take cuttings from. All those cuttings are going to have that same vigor that they're ready to go. And instead of going to flower, they're going to re-veg themselves real happy and healthy.
Timing can be tricky. It is specifically why some people keep one. If I tell people to take cuts right before they go to bloom, ideal time. Get your cuts rooted. They can live in the clone dome for, 2 to 4 weeks, 4 weeks pushing it in the clone dome. And then, then you go to another month veg. And then maybe, because some flowering strains can be 70 days plus. So sometimes people just don't want to have that long of a veg stage. But do you even really need a mother plant, right? I said they decline a little bit after 6 to 10 months, lose their vigor a little. I like to talk about buying clones and seeds. I mean, in today's most places, not everywhere. I know the progression is pretty hard. Seedsherenow.com ships everywhere from the States to the States. We got people in the crew I'm just shouting out like JR Killer Cuts. I know I said taking in cuts can be hazardous. Taking them in from a reputable person that's selling cuts, you still want to do a quarantine, but access to genetics, long story short, is wide right now. You do have to be very careful with it. You do have to quarantine. You do need to scope plants when they come in. I've gotten problems with plants. We've seen plants for sale in a commercial setting that had powder and mildew on them, so it is something to be wary of. But it can be done successfully. I mean, I know Scotty Real, that's how he gets most of his clones.
Yes, buying it and definitely popping seeds. Cloning is one of those things that we can get just locked into, like, oh, I really like smoking this strain. I'm just going to grow it forever and ever and ever. We live in the renaissance of cannabis right now. There's so much genetics. Every week goes by, someone hands me something, and I go, I only like GMO. I only like sour diesel. And then they'll hand me a rainbow belts, and I go, I like rainbow bells too. So popping some seeds, getting some strains, it's a great way to increase your skill as a grower, find new genetics, and also just make sure everything's happy and healthy every single round.
Yeah, thumbs up on that. It keeps growing exciting too. I know it's fun to dial in a clone, and you really know how to work with it. But seeing just different varieties coming continuously to grow, I dig. We got feminized, autos, clone. We got all kinds of options these days. Let us know what you do in the comments. Do you keep a mother? What's the biggest mother you've ever kept? I've seen some commercial grows, some like 10-foot tall plants, which is crazy. Or do you guys just go from seed? Let us know what you do down in the comments below.
And if you guys enjoyed this video, and we hope that you do, smoke that like button, subscribe to the channel if you vibe with what we're saying, and we always say, dude, roll this video up, pass it to a friend. Sharing is caring. They can't shadow ban us if the community shares with the community. And make sure you check out these other 2 videos YouTube's recommending. We all are sure you're going to dig them.
They'll be age restricting us because we be smoking like Snoop.
Wow, that's Snoop Dogg, the Godfather. I hit that blunt, I'm going to see the father. Damn, Earth was cool. Oh, this gas, 93 octane. God, take me now. Hey, cool it. He got another one sparked already. He being unreasonable. This beyond me. If he think I'm finna hit that blunt again. Heavens, no, I'm high, bucko. I'm puzzled. I'm finna give it right back to him and tell him I hit it 10 times already. I'm finna call 911 and report an attempted murder. He keep passing me blunts. He think we in a relay race. What a bummer. I'm finna put this out, and if he asks why, I'm gonna tell him I'm allergic to marijuana. Weed for me stand for with each exhale, I'm about to die. He gotta knock it off. I done already took 2 blunts. He done sparked a 3rd one. Smoke monster. I'm finna play sleep. I'm comatose. Big fella, you took that blunt to the head? Now you finna be in the nearest hospital bed. This ain't the move. I'm finna scoot. He a different bro.
Warning, this content is rated for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ben, and I like to chase big buds. If this is your first time stopping by, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated.
I know to go hit up the big homie's Instagram, check him out.
This video is sponsored by Spider Farmer. Use discount code BENCHASINSF and save 8% off site-wide or 3% off any Spider Farmer products on Amazon. So, in the last Spider Farmer series, let's say I could have done a much better job of being attentive to my garden. My plants ended up re-vegging, and the final product was actually stupendous. It just didn't last very long, but no frets or tears. I'm just gonna try again. I have these Spider Farmer drip irrigation DWC buckets, which are 7 gallons each versus my typical 5-gallon bucket. And feeding in DWC just got easier. Just open this triangular cover, add your nutrient solution, and let your plants thrive. So, not much is gonna change for this grow, not as far as the equipment goes. Just the buckets. We're still using the SF4000. We're still in the 4x4 tank. I just want to give this setup the opportunity to really do well, given my last grow went so terribly wrong. So, assuming you're up for it, since you've made it this far in the video, let's take the journey yet again, and this time, I'll do it the right way. If you're not familiar with this Husky tote, I did use it to create a 12-site starter kit for seedlings and start 12 plants.
Sitting on top of the water.
If you think Spider Farmer should make this a full series, go down to the comments and type "lock it in Spider Farmer" so they know we're
got some
serious.
videography skills.
Alright, so as you can tell, we are going to be growing some red hot blueberry by TH.
Shout out to Zoe Vanguard, he live on Facebook. Y'all know, go check out that big
during
homie.
the entire grow, because we're in DWC, pH is going to be especially important. So we're going to make sure that's our focus. I'm sufficiently stocked up and well equipped with the necessary syringes. My water is alkaline out of the faucet, so I have to keep pH down to maintain a good 6.1 during veg and 5.8 during bloom. Speaking of veg, when I feed my plants during this stage, what's in the solution is a few milliliters of Flora Micro, Flora Bloom, Flora Grow, Silica Boost, and some calcium magnesium supplements. Here we are. I just need the 2 plants at the top on the left. Those are the red hot blueberries. It's been 2 weeks since they've come out of the red solo cup, and at this point it looks like it was a great decision. Now you all know what I say. The bigger the roots, the bigger the fruit. These roots are phenomenal, and like I just said, it's only been 2 weeks. I feel great about this grow so far, and I can't wait to get to the final weeks of bloom. I'm just imagining the aromas floating through my halls. Hints of blueberry pie and muffins. overtones of jet fuel and a bake sale, ice creamsicles, and sherbet. This list is endless. All right, we have made it to day 1 of
sevens.
These plants look like they just took a beating, because they did. Sort of, in a way. The transfer process is one of the hardest parts for the cannabis plant because they're literally being snatched away from their home and transported to another. This is a stressful time, and until they become acclimated to their new home or homes, they will look how they feel.
This is a nice setup, though. Shout out to Spider Farming. I might have to check them out. Get my little 6-pack set up. Run my fucking grow here better. You dig? Go ahead and get it automated from the looks of it. Yeah, I'm down with that because I ain't even got to be at home. I just got to set the plants. Make sure they got water and food a couple days. Yeah, that's that in and out.
All right, so you've seen what's been growing on in the garden. We're currently about to jump into flower, and I'm going to take this video all the way through the 5th week of flower, and as I'm recording this voiceover for this video, we're in week 6 at the moment, and the plants are stacking up nicely. But here's the deal. If you want to see the final results, the harvest, the yield, so on and so forth, that's going to be up to Spider Farmer. If you think Spider Farmer should make this a full series, go down to the comments and type "Lock it in, Spider Farmer," so they know we're serious.
What up, Tiff? Good to see you. Hopefully you're smoking good, doing good. I'm gonna go check out Tiff. That's for home.
I really want to share this grow with you all in its entirety, but remember, this is all going to be up to Spider Farmer. So let's work together to ensure we get this content out, especially for those who may need it. I made sure to capture footage of me feeding my plants in a very informative way. Although I feel that people should find their own feeding schedule, I'm willing to share mine if it helps. My hope is that we build influence with the voice of you, the audience, a voice so big it's impossible to ignore. So go ahead, Spam the comments section and demand that Spider Farmer lock it in. I'll be checking the comments section frequently, so make sure your voice is heard. Remember, for the next 4 weeks, I'll be hosting a giveaway for I Love Growing Marijuana, or ILGM.
Yeah, that's one of those
Each
things
week,
I say,
there will be a
shit.
prize of
Like, if I start from seed,
$119.99
I
for
automatically
one
had
lucky
that thing
winner.
bent over like day
Shipping
6,
from
day 7.
ILGM is
Because by
worldwide,
then,
so
it's
everyone
already,
is free to participate, but
yeah,
in
let
order
me
to be
just
eligible to
bend you
participate,
over and
you must be
then you'll be
subscribed
producing
to my
secondary
channel.
from the start.
Also, I'm
Yeah.
hosting a giveaway on my Instagram, which is at ben.chasen.bb. One lucky winner will be sent a Foresight self-watering system by Spider Farmer, U.S. residents only. One more thing. If you haven't joined...
It's always a giveaway. Shouts out to them. I keep telling y'all better go get it.
So let's get back to the topic. I've got the garlic in there. I'm going to chop up this onion. I'm going to put a little bit of water, and I'm going to just let those saute down. Is sugar like crack? What do you all know about the studies? Have you seen any studies? Are you familiar with this, that sugar is addictive? And one of the main ways that we get it is in our ultra-processed foods. So anything that's processed or ultra-processed, for example, if you're eating a tomato, that's just a whole food. If you turn that tomato into ketchup, if you turn that tomato into any sort of sauce, then it's processed. And it may be ultra-processed, like ketchup would be ultra-processed, because you can't even recognize it anymore. If it's salsa, that would be processed because it has been changed, but it's not ultra processed where there's been all these additives and all these different things happening with it. So we're just going to rough chop our onion and put that in the pan. And remember, we're sauteing these all with a splash of water. Christiana, can you bring me the liquid aminos, please? Thank you. So liquid aminos, I'm going to use those as the salt here to season this up, and let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Rainbow is saying, dark vegetables and fruit come with extra stuff. Absolutely. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, right? But also the darker the berry, the sweeter the nutrients, like the darker the food. So Rainbow is saying dark vegetables and fruit come with extra stuff. So eat lots of colors in fruit and vegetables, and eat from all over the world. It's ours to eat. Absolutely. So that's another good way to look at it. You know, when you think about it, you just have to say, okay, I'm going to eat the rainbow, as they say, but why are you eating the rainbow? Because the phytonutrients in the different foods are different. So you get vitamin A and carotene in carrots, or any orange vegetable, you'll find some of those same properties. So like butternut squash or pumpkin, those orange foods. Of course, the green foods you have, especially those leafy greens, right? Rambo, thank you. Rambo says, I love some okra. Absolutely. So I can't remember if okra has calcium in it. I can't remember the specific nutrients, but that's the nice thing. When you're eating the rainbow, you don't have to like count calories. You don't have to worry about, am I feeding my loved ones? Am I being a superfood parent? How am I feeding my, nope, you don't have to worry about it. You just know that you're already doing great when you actually are consuming whole foods. Let's say if you're a vegetarian, like David Hunt, he's a vegetarian, so he tries to eat a lot of whole foods. But if David and Michelle are over there eating processed and ultra processed foods, you can best believe that's where the sugar is hiding. The sugar is in the processing. It's sort of like a preservative. They know that it appeals to people's palate. And that sugar in most things is what makes you come back for more. So last night.
What's going on, guys? I hope you're well and warm. Kicking it flat today, baby. I've got something I want to chat to you about, and it has to do with the most expensivest product you've ever seen. I was surfing X, and I came across Drew is Sharing's post, famous weed tuber from the UK. Posted a video of him trying some $1,000 an ounce product. I believe it was called Elephant's Growth. And his post said, I just bought the most expensive weed in the world. This stuff costs $1,000 an ounce in Cali. Now, I would show you this, but the best I could do is show you up this picture with a little bit of a blur. But I gotta ask, is there an ounce in the world that's worth $1,000? Easy
Apparently
answer,
there is.
absolutely not. Personally, don't even think it's worth it to make the content to review, but that's my own personal stance. Drew did a video on this, and he did do the review. That is what he's known for. So I'm not gonna bust Drew's balls for paying $1,000 for an ounce because that's his job. But it's crazy to me that product like this even exists. Now I understand luxury brands are a thing. You've got Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and so you're gonna see something similar in every niche when the product is involved. But when we're talking about a plant that can be grown by just about anyone, $1,000 an ounce is extraordinarily overpriced. Even the best ounce, in my opinion, should not be over $200. That's under $10 a gram. I think that's pretty fair. The
Good to see you,
picture
my
of
lord. How
the
you
bud,
doing?
and I'll leave a link below to his account so you can actually see an unedited version of this flower, looks pretty good. It looks pretty dank, and honestly, I would probably smoke it myself. If somebody offered me it, yeah, 100%. I'd be like, dude, is this your elephant growth? You paid how much, dude? Yeah, I'll smoke that. Yeah, I'll smoke your shit. I ain't paying for it, but I'll smoke it. I just certainly wouldn't pay the $1,000, but I would be willing to give it my best review. Now, I actually tuned in to Drew's live stream where he did a live review. Turned out, I think he liked it.
Bruv, like, the thing is, it's just like a banging OG, and it's so hard to find OG at this quality, like burning clean, smoking mad, oil ring, terpy, tasty, and not only all of those boxes, but is actual, real OG.
But I ask you, what do you think when it comes to the price of herb? In my opinion, weed has gotten way overpriced. Way overpriced. The fact that there are even $1,000 ounces out there is crazy to me. But what's even crazier is that there's people that pay $1,000 an ounce. I can assure you that there are ounces out there for far less than $1,000 that are gonna hit you
I mean, you got
probably
some
in
people
the
that
same
have
way, in the
access to a
same
lot of
effect
money.
as this $1,000 ounce.
Politicians make
For
$100,000 a year,
$1,000
but
an
yet
ounce, I'm
their
telling you, it
net worth is
better
over
roll
25 million.
itself up, light it, and put itself in my mouth so that I can do
somebody ain't
almost
doing the
nothing
right math
to make
on
it
getting
disappear.
paid right.
$1,000 seems like a lot, but that's my opinion. I ask, what do you guys think in regards to this kind of stuff? Is this something that you would try? More importantly, would you spend $1,000 an ounce on this product? I'm curious. I want to hear from you because maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe some people will be like, yeah, you know what? Really good stuff is hard to come by, and as a custy,
you got it?
I'm gonna spend $1,000 an ounce on this product. I'll tell you straight goods, as a home grower who can grow stuff like this, I'm not spending $1,000 an ounce. I can grow a pound for about $40, about $50 a pound. There's not a hope in Hana that I'm gonna spend way more than that on this. And remind you, it does look good, but not $1,000 an ounce. Good. Guys, that's all I wanted to talk about. What do you think? I'm out of here. Peace!
Everybody in New York was calling to get down with Mr. Nice Guy. We met all kinds of customers, like this guy here. He's what we call an enhancement smoker, because he thinks that marijuana makes every activity that much better.
Casa su casa.
Observe.
You're Scarface, right? Yeah. I love Al Pacino, man. Did you ever see Son of a Woman? Yup. You ever seen Son of a Woman on weed? That's the way to see it, man. It's just whack.
$60, yo.
Cool, man. I got it. Did you ever see the back of a $20 bill, man?
No, I don't know, yo.
Did you ever see the back of a $20 bill on weed? Oh, there's some weird shit in there, man. There's a dude sitting in the bushes, man. Does he have a gun? I don't know, man. I don't know. What? Red team go. Red team go. just some weird shit, man.
Man, you fucking crazy, yo.
No, it's cool. Thanks, man. Hey, yo, wait. Dude, I'm gonna check out the stars later. It's really trippy. Especially on weed, man.
So, you just got your medical card, or maybe you're visiting a legal state with recreational shops for the first time. Either way, I've got 5 shopping tips that'll help you get the best bud or concentrate or whatever you're looking for, because I've done a lot of shopping in medical and recreational dispensaries in Florida and Colorado, and I've also talked to a lot of people who've done shopping in various states, and I put together a list of tips because I feel like most dispensaries kind of treat you the same. You walk in, the bud tender says sativa or indica, and then they just start spitting numbers out at you. And I really don't think that's the best way to get the best stuff. So I put together a list of tips, and the first tip is probably the best tip, but unfortunately you can't use it in every shop. Some of them have different rules, so you just kind of have to go with what they allow you to do. But your nose knows the best strain or the best option for you in the dispensary can be decided by just smelling it. It's not the one with the coolest name, it's not the one with the biggest number, it's not the one with the craziest genetics, it's not any of that. It's the one that smells the best. That's the one that's going to be the best for you. Your nose knows. Your nose is going to be able to pick up on all the terpenes, all the cannabinoids that your body wants. It's letting you know that, oh, bro, this is the one I need. It smells the best because this is the one that's going to do it. It sucks because in Florida, I can't really smell it. I can buy them all and then open them later and then smell them, and then I know which one smells the best. But before I buy it, I can't really smell it. But in Colorado, I would always just smell the jars. Some places have 40 jars. Some places have 7 or 8 options. But I would just go through and smell the jars. Whichever one smelled the best, that's the one I was getting. Sure, I like variety. I'd get a few that smelled good, but literally, like, the one that smells the best is the one that hits the best almost every time. Now, this applies to flower and concentrate. If a concentrate is extracted and they didn't add in terpenes, you're going to be able to smell what's in there. It might not work. This tip might not work to edibles because, like, does a brownie smell good? Was it freshly baked? Like, they're going to get you with something else. But on flower and concentrate, the one that smells the best is the best. So my second tip, and this one is a little bit tricky because I do talk about getting deals a lot, but not every sale is good. You don't want to get every deal. Things that I try to avoid are when a place has a ton of options but only one strain is on sale. There's a reason just that one is on sale. Either they have a ton of it or it was a bad batch and it's not very good, so they don't feel comfortable charging the same price as the other strains. But I've learned you can easily get burned by a deal. If something sounds too good to be true, if they're doing 75% off or something crazy you've never seen before, there's a reason why. And sure, it can be they just got a lot of extra supply. They haven't sold as much in the last few weeks, so they're just like swimming in flour. But sometimes they just tried to charge too much for it month after month, and then they realize, like, man, these have been sitting here for like 8 or 9 months. Nobody's buying it. Well, they market the 50% off, and then you go just get like a really old, dusty, dry flour, and it's terrible. So just consider the deals. If places are known for doing deals, they do a wax deal every Wednesday and a cart deal every Friday or something like that, you're probably not going to get screwed. But I can't tell you, especially in Colorado, even at medical shops, how many times I just look on Weed Maps and I see a crazy deal, and then I go get it, and they got me, bro. I remember this one place I bought like 2 ounces of concentrate, and they had all these display grams that they showed you that looked really good, and I was like, there's no way this is about to be this cheap. And then I get it all home, and all the concentrate didn't look anything like the display grams. It was all terrible. And then they were like, oh yeah, sorry, we can't do returns on that one. The deal was too good. So some places are gonna bait you with a super good deal. Just think, why is this so much off? If all the flour is on sale, it's maybe not so bad, but if it's just one option out of like 20 or 30, there's a reason that one's on sale. Another tip, and this is one of the only numbers that I really care about on the label. I don't really care about the percentages or anything like that, but the harvest date, okay? How long ago was it harvested? With the production at some of these places, they're huge. They got to move the stuff around. They got to get it tested. There's a lot going on. So sometimes the shops just end up with like really old bud. I don't always look at the harvest date. This tip is for me because I kind of got the other day.
But when you don't check the harvest date, sometimes you're just getting like a year-old weed. Like, it's a year-old. I got some stuff the other day and the harvest date on it was April. And I'm usually pretty good about looking at that, but my experience lately is some of this stuff just moves in and out of the store so quickly, you don't really get the older stuff. But every now and then, just something gets pushed to the back and it doesn't sell day after day. And then they have something from last year, like months and months ago, and you might accidentally get that. Now, its flower is still good, but it might not be as good as the same strain with a more recent harvest date on it. Because in some of these places, it's just sitting in whatever packaging they have, like little plastic containers. So if it's been sitting in there for 8 months, it's probably pretty dry. My next tip, and I talk about this one a lot, but I feel like every time I go into the dispensary, they say, are you a sativa guy or an indica guy? Do you like more sativa or indica? Everything in the dispensary is a hybrid. Like, almost guaranteed, most shops don't have a pure indica or a pure sativa, and it really doesn't even matter. Everything is a hybrid. They don't even know. The bud tender doesn't even know. Most of the indica and sativa percentages were just assigned by the growers. Each time you see 70% sativa, making that up. That's not something you can measure. That's not something you can test. It's just like, well, this is what I think it is, so that's what we're going to label it as. Everything is a hybrid. They've just done so many crossing of strains over the years to get like bigger yields and bigger buds and frostier buds. They just keep crossing everything. For nowadays, everything's basically a hybrid, and nobody really knows what percentage indica or sativa. They're just kind of guessing. And when there's no way to measure it, that guessing sometimes is wrong. So just because they're saying one's an upper, one's a downer, or whatever, I don't know how they tell you when you're in there, because I'm usually like, I'll take anything. It doesn't matter. But everything's a hybrid. All the hybrids are hybrids. All the sativas are hybrids. All the indicas are hybrids. There's not 2 different kinds of highs. There's not 3 different kinds of highs. It's more complex than that. So don't just follow into the basic marketing trap, but you want the red one or the blue one or the purple one in the middle. Because they're all purple. It's different shades of purple. And my last and final tip for picking up at the legal shops is the percentage isn't that important. The THC percentage specifically is like a selling point for some places. Most places have it in their mind that you gotta sell the flower with the highest THC percent. You gotta sell the cards, the concentrates with the highest percent, because I've been in dispensaries. Most basic shoppers, most people that just go in once a week and spend $50, $100, most of the average shoppers in there, they just go in and they say, I want a sativa and I want the highest percent you got. That's most people shopping, unfortunately. And I feel like it's a never-ending loop, because a lot of the bud tenders will ask you sativa or indica, and they'll start telling you what percents they have, and then they'll go, I think I have a higher one. I think I have a higher one. So just because something has a bigger number on it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make you higher. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better just because it has the bigger number on it. I've experienced this time and time and time again. The best flower I ever had in my life, 17% THC. It was super fresh from a living organic soil, small batch grow, super fresh. Some of the freshest bud I ever got. It was only 17%. So good. I can't tell you how many places you can go and just get like the crappiest bud you've ever seen, like doo-doo tier mids, and it says 30% on it, 33%, 29.8% on it. There's so much bud out there in the 30%, because there's a lot of people out there, they only want 30% or higher. They don't look at anything under. People are like, I don't buy anything unless it's 30% or higher, because I'm just wasting my blah, 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 blah. Like, they're just buying mids almost every time, guaranteed. There's so much bad bud out there with big numbers on it, and bozos are buying it. Now, I'm not saying that all of the bud with smaller numbers on it is better, but the number is really not the indicator that you think it is. So don't always feel like you gotta get locked into the numbers. Like I said earlier, the most important number to me is usually the harvest date or the price. That's a pretty important number. If it's just way too much, I'm not gonna get it. Those are my 5 tips for shopping. If you have any tips I missed, leave me a comment or tune into my Twitch stream. I go live after 9 p.m. Eastern for a smoke session, so come get high with me and shoot me some of your tips over there. And if you didn't hear about why some dispensaries hated me, check out this video right here. I've been to a lot of places, and some of those places groaned when I walked through the door. Have a lit day, my dudes.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Welcome to the Grow Tent, everybody. You have found the best cannabis growing channel on YouTube, man. The place where we simplify the approach for you so everyone can learn how to grow. We make it so simple, even I can understand. So I'm going to listen and learn right now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Grow Tent. We got a great episode for you today. Today we're going to be talking about lollipopping and how doing it incorrectly is probably costing you yield. How also not doing it would cost you yield. So, like everything with this plant, there is a fine balance in between the two. And today I'm going to show you with a little diagram of where you should be doing it, how often you should be doing it, and what weeks you really need to pay attention to it. But first, as always, the intro. Guys, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, watch the full video. It helps out the channel a ton. Guys, if you didn't know, our merch store is live. Today is the very last day for you to be able to get some of our limited edition t-shirts. Made 3 new designs for a collab with Ragnarok and Dark Horse, and I think you guys would really like them. You can go check them out at WTTGT. The store closes today, and one of the orders from the time the store's been open this week is going to get $500 stuck in it on top of it. If anybody is in the comments saying anything about you won, those are scammers. I don't ever post in the comments that you won anything. And we're back, guys. We're back. One of everybody's favorite topics, probably one of the topics I get questions on, is, I'd say, besides watering and learning how to accurately tell when the correct time to water the plants is, I would say probably lollipopping is one of the questions I get the most of. So I did a terrible dry erase board diagram of something that I hope won't get age restricted, because none part of it looks like it has sea leaves on it. I just made the leaves, like the tops, the nodal sites, just stars on a blue dry erase board. So we'll see how this works. All right. So in this picture, we're going to be talking about lollipopping. And first off, when should you lollipop? So lollipopping is something we do weeks 2 of flower through week 7 of flower. You do it 1 time a week. The very first time you do it, it's going to be like a mess down there. Since we wait till the end of week 2 flower to do it, so there'll be a lot of stuff down there you have to clean off. So it's going to take you the longest the first week. That still doesn't mean it's going to take you a long time. It's going to take you about 30 seconds to a minute a plant, and then you're going to move on to the next, then move on to the next, then move on to the next. So the more plants you have, obviously, the more time this will take. But it's not too bad, because after the first time you do it, the growth that comes back is very slow. There's not a lot that happens down there, but you still need to keep it clean. Arm reaches. So the first time you do it, it's going to take you a while. You're going to do it start of week 2, or not start of week 2, the end of week 2 through week 7 of flower. You're going to do it 1 time. Just pick out 1 day a week. You're like, hey, Saturdays, I'm going to be in the tent anyway. I'm going to go down there, and that's whenever I'm going to lollipop my plants. I'm doing it every Saturday, week 2 through 7. The thing I want to talk about the most is, who I see a ton of, is people, how much vertical height they lollipop off the plant. What I end up seeing is people will just keep lollipopping up the plant. I don't know if they don't understand how high they're supposed to go, but they end up with only leaving the very top of the plant is all they leave. And whenever you do it that way, you actually do cost yourself a considerable amount of your yield by only leaving that top part of the canopy. And you're like, well, GT, what's the top part? So here's my diagram that I drew. Don't yell at me. I know it's terrible. But what you can see here is, I can stop doing my hand moves now because they're obviously the picture's covering, but just know, back behind this picture, I'm still moving my hands around. This picture, you see 3 different levels to the plant. I've kind of diagrammed it out. I basically broke it into thirds. So you've got A section, B section, and C section. All these sections are equal amounts. There's, they're just say 33%, each one of them. So you can see down there in the bottom, there's A section, in the middle is B section, and then in the top of the plant, that C section, that's where all your great, big colas will be, is up there in C section. But in B section, what I see a lot of times is people will actually lollipop off the complete A section, and then they'll lollipop off the complete B section on top of it. Whenever you're lollipopping, you're only really looking to clean up that bottom third of the plant, and that's from the top of the pot to right underneath the middle of the plant. what happens is people will take off A and B, and whenever they do, they're going to end up costing themselves. It's not, the main part of your yield, of course, will always be the very top of the plant. That's the best part of the plant. But what happens is when you take off that B section, you actually end up costing yourself about 30-ish% of your yield just by lollipopping up too high. And what I end up seeing is I see all these gardens, they have the very top of their canopy, like sitting in their scrog net or whatever, and then the whole rest of the plant is just antlers. It's just a skeleton of the rest of the plant. And you actually do cost yourself quite a bit, and it's not like that the giant colas that you're costing yourself. What you're costing yourself is like those nice, golf ball size nugs that all sit in that area. And do you have to keep those? No, but you will increase your yield dramatically. Like if every time you're like, man, I don't get nearly the amount that I should be getting from the square footage of my tent. And a lot of times it's because you're lollipopping these plants up too tall, and you end up with just this skeletonized frame. So if you've ever been growing and you're looking at your gardens at the end and you just have that like top 6 inches of canopy, and then the whole rest of the plant is just antlers, and when I say like on a deer, antlers, it's just stick with nothing on it, this is probably what's happening. Is either that or you're topping too early and not letting any lower nodal sites, and then you end up with kind of the same problem. But if you're not topping too early or too often, and you're still ending up with plants that just have that top row, like top 6 inches of bud and stuff like that, a lot of times it's because they're lollipopping too aggressively like this. I would actually prefer no lollipopping over the overdoing it of the lollipopping, but neither one is good. If you just kind of stick, take a picture down for a second, but if you just kind of stick to this diagram, people overcomplicate, and what happens is a lot of times if you're sitting above your plant, so if you're above your plant like this and looking down on it, and like lollipopping below you, what happens is, since you're looking down on it like this, what you think is a third of the plant is actually way up here, so you end up lollipopping way up the plant. What I do, I don't have to do it anymore, but what you'll find is better is if you take and you lower yourself down to where you're kind of looking at the middle of the plant instead of up above it, working over it. If you bring yourself down to where you're more eye level with it, it's way easier to judge where like the bottom third of the plant is, because whenever you're sitting at an above angle of it, it distorts your view of where the bottom of the plant is. Let's see, can I bring just this picture up so I'm in the same picture? In the picture at the same time, we'll make the picture a slight bit smaller. Another thing that I see is, okay, so we've got the plant here, and you can see there are branches that are, the bottom of the branch starts in the A section, but then it carries up into the B and then into the C section. Like, just look at this one on the very edge here. You can see down there at the bottom, it starts in the A section, then it curves out, and then it gets into the B section, and then all the way up to the top into the C section. You can see we've cleaned off the bottom of the branch that's in the A section, but as soon as it transitions into the middle of the plant, look, you can see on there we haven't cleaned any of it up. So this is another thing that people are messing up, whereas they're like, well, the branch starts down here, so I can clean it all the way till it gets to the top. No, as soon as it breaks into like the middle of the plant, we stop lollipopping it. Just because it started down there doesn't mean you have to clean it all the way up, because it's part of that bottom. So a lot of people I'll see, they'll take it and they'll clean it all the way up to the top, and they'll strip off that whole middle section. This is incorrect. That is not what you want to do. As soon as they transition through the levels, you stop. So if you have one that starts in A and then it goes into B, then you only clean what's in the A section. Now, if we had that same branch, and instead of curling up like this, it was one of those where it just kind of went out like this, and it never went up into B, well, instead of cleaning that branch off, we would just clip that entire branch. We wouldn't leave it there, just strip it and leave it there. We would actually just go back to the main stalk, clip that branch off, the entire thing. But since it curls up into the next section and it's a viable branch that's going to make it to our canopy, we leave the branch, clean the bottom that's in the A section, and then leave everything that's in the B section. But if it was, more outward growing like that, never goes up into the middle. We just clip the whole branch. That's how you decide is whether you strip some of the branch or clip the entire branch off. Guys, I hope this helps you out with your lollipopping. This is, once you get used to this is something that takes you about 30 seconds, 45 seconds per plant. You don't even think about it. You can literally just sit there, look at it, and you run right through it. You will increase your yields by growing it like this. I promise you. I do it every time. My yields are always off the charts, and you'll find that if you do this, you'll have the exact same kind of growing. And hope you guys are all having a fantastic weekend. And we've got 1 week left, guys, of me. I've gone live or dropped a video every single day for the entire month of February. I hope you guys, if you guys haven't been hanging out with us, I hope you check it out. We've got 1 week left, a little bit less than 1 week left. So today's the 23rd. This will go on till the 28th. I hope you guys come check it out. I'll see you guys next time. For today, I'm out of here. I'm GT. I'll see you guys next time.
Let's discuss my payment. That time is past. No 5,000 for you. The price is 50. How about your payment is you get to leave? Not enough. Now you think you can negotiate with me? I say the word, my nephews go to a certain motel, pay a visit to your daughter-in-law and your little granddaughter. What do you think happens then? Consider your position carefully. I got my money. Or neither of us walk out of here. You willing to die for this? Maybe I need the 50,000 more than you do.
Y'all go check out the J Jordan. Roll over there kicking it, doing his thing. Other than that, I'm going to stop this Rumble video. Then we're going to go into the green room real quick, show y'all what we got growing on over there. Poop, 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 poop. Anyways, there's a couple of these that have gotten started. Shouts out to them Bear Miller Genetics. We got the Auto Army on the way. Something started, so we'll get something going, right? Looks to be 2 over there, so you see what I'm saying? And I gotta water these. Definitely got to water these. But then we got these going. Shouts out to the Blue Banner OGs. That's what those are. That's also what was in flower. Gotta make sure that's looking good tonight when the light comes back on. But you know how we doing. We got our dragon fruits that we started from seeds. And then of course we got some strawberries over here. It's got a no-till filler for these money tree pieces that came out. But hell, the money tree still look good, so shouts out to the shading and the money tree. But y'all already know, hit your boy up, book consultation, buy me a coffee, whatever you gonna do. I'm chilling.